work of the logistics department. It has always been processing data in the back. Why this time? Yang Chen, how long have you been in the logistics department? 1 year, 11 years. This year, you should be able to see the environment of the logistics department. The air leak instrument regards this as a place to retire. I am not the ancestor of Chau Han, nor am I, and not just the logistics department. Even Tianzu is a little messed up. If you don't do it, it will be too late. Yang Chen is a psychic, sent from above, specializing in the security of the Minister of Logistics. He was upset at first. Think of yourself as a psychic. Why do you want to be a bodyguard for ordinary people? But by Zhang Ziliang's side, watch what he says and does. One decision after another, Yang Chen gradually became convinced. It turns out that ordinary people can be so excellent, can also make a huge contribution. He gradually integrated himself into the logistics department. The team leader has issued a new policy. A month later, team, there are 3 squad places in total, 5 people per team. I want to fight for a place. I'm here. This is matched with the resource advantages of the logistics department itself. Our voice has the voice over it. More to the intelligence department. Some pressure on the guys in the ops department. Make them all take it seriously. But our achievements are not enough. After all, logistics people are almost all ordinary people. Fuchen's eyes lit up. Therefore, winter requires life to fill in. But society has many people. Every revolution requires blood to wash away. Today's event is just the beginning. Next month, all the logistics personnel will be on duty. Only those who survive are truly talented, instead of worms that eat food. After all, there are too many relationships. There was a trace of iron blood in Zhang Ziliang's voice, and Yang Chen fell into silence. New objection, this is fucking. This is about C1 fingertips are not the same. Something is coming. After entering the playground, the eyes of the strong man who rarely spoke changed. Prince turned his body calmly, cleverly stood behind a few people again. This guy has such keen intuition. I just found out this strong man can react at the same time as me. It was him. But how did he survive? A huge sense of fear instantly filled his body. Make him cold. Why did you leave me? Why is that? Leave me. Interesting people. Looks like I should bring some hair next time. Does not change a person's physical function. Does everything still need to follow reality? The most terrifying monster he has ever encountered. Body control. Even one head can attack you. Completely contrary to human common sense. The little girl in the logistics department, who was not taken care of by the side, was frightened. Fell to the ground. The blood all over the ground frantically stimulated his nerves. Prince's expression suddenly changed. It's a pity to want to stop waste. That's the power of augmentation. Tianqi looked at the prince mockingly. Compare before and after. Previous move of the prince brandishing 5 knives. Like a piece of trash. Even a fool can use it this way. You can prepare for the funeral in up to 3 months. Prince Yineng will too, but only for the sake of human manifestation. In the eyes of the prince, it is absolutely stupid. Follow the map at the entrance of the amusement park. It should have arrived at the center of the amusement park by now. The ghosts cry. Isn't the sound louder the closer you are? I don't know when it will start, no matter how he moves. The cries in my ears didn't change at all. Originally intended to be based on Cry's plan to lock down the source of the monster. Who failed? Don't quack. Don't quack. Oh, is a survivor. Mad. Thought everyone was finished. Are you here to rescue us? We are. When I was a chef, I and a few. The staff of the Ferris wheel are together. A few people were originally 6 people. Now there are only 5 left. Of course, yeah. The strong man and Tianqi also seem to have thought of something. They looked at each other. He's all gone. Where is it? The meat was there, and there was a cry in our ears. And he couldn't stop crying, and then he freaked out. I can't stand it. They all ran out to find the exit. You don't want the others to unplug too? Take us there right now. Matter quickly leads the way. Crowd follows the staff, heading towards where they are hiding. And Chau Han stood there, a hint of doubt flashed in his eyes. And I looked around. Found nothing. Follow up. Aha! Trash is just an ordinary strange slave, in addition to causing sadness and zombie-like methods. Almost nothing else. 5 people were actually scared off by such a strange slave. It's time for the master to show your strength. Are you rescuing me? Are you in a state of mind? The strong man kept silent for some reason at this time. Don't make ends meet, and stand in a thicker position. Found where it was. I don't know when. Figure has disappeared. That thing is gone. Can you still find out where that thing is? He left. This thing is so cunning. Is the reason for the strange desire. It's a higher kind of weirdness. In strange desire, the monster will have the ability to teleport. The stronger the monster is, the faster the cooling rate is. The further you move. At present, this one cannot teleport too far. He didn't tell the 3 of them about the 2nd level monster desire. After all, concept has not yet come out. The strong man and Tianqi looked at each other, with a trace of seriousness in his eyes. And Tianqi, Yandy inexplicable to the prince. A trace of undetectable gas emerged. How do you crack it? Chau Han, there's no doubt as to why the prince knows this information. Unless a higher level of strange desire is suppressed, we can spread out and enclose in a square. As soon as anyone finds it, and he used teleportation. Enclose now. You can't use it a second time in a short period of time. All three of us have the strength to support you.
But what are you? You deserve an ordinary person too. How do you know if you don't try it? It's not your fault if I quack, is it? Tianqi still wants to continue to ridicule. But after taking a look at the strong man, forcibly hold back the words. Little brother, I'm sure you won't make fun of your life. I agree with your sword. Chau Han, how about you? I listen to my little brother. After all, I'm going to make him a teddy bear. But don't put it in the hands of others. Your life is mine. The prince has adapted to Chau Han's revelation. Face is not a trace of waves. So let's spread out. If you find a monster, call someone. He just used it once, and the adaptation doesn't get very far. So our encirclement doesn't have to be too big. Don't go. Aren't you here to save us? Don't take us. Believe it or not, we will complain to you later. I'll tell you what. I'm a playground shareholder. You have to get me out of here. Never mind that. My life is valuable. You are afraid of monsters. It's knowing that there's no consciousness, and will really hit you. And we are officially sent to save people. So you think we won't do anything to you? You fear the grateful, instead of thanking the rescuer. Right? The prince looked at these ordinary people coldly. A cold light flashed through the sky. Our task is to solve the monster. What does your life have to do with me? I can totally let the monster kill you guys. Deal him again. And do you believe that? This moment, the prince's smile in the eyes of a few ordinary people. Like the devil. I have money. I have a lot of money. As long as I live, I can give it all to you. I swear to God. Are you only for sinners? Let's do it fun. Whoever meets the blame is unlucky. After all, drag the foot monster alone for a while. It's exhausting. But I always feel that you are the first to meet the strange one. These things. Oh, who knows? Go back and close the door. Is there no other talent rule for this monster? Logically speaking, a guy with a level 2 lust, talent techniques can't be so monotonous. But if you have other abilities, just a few dozen employees, it should have been killed long ago. There can be no survivors. The laughter disappeared like an illusion. The prince became a little more vigilant. This guy's luck doesn't seem to be very good. This good thing has been mixed by me. Get him. There was a hint of urgency in Tianqi's voice. Zhongqi is obviously a little insufficient. Is his other ability to bind monsters? I just don't know what the limit is. I'm just an ordinary person. There's no way to seal him powerless. I must have fucked you. The Buddha looked into the eyes of the two. Finally brought a trace of fear. After forever. Buddha closed. Buddhist disciple can't close the pen. Why is it in Shangjing City, there will be a disciple of the Buddha? You know? In a previous life, several cities faced several disasters. I asked Buddha for help several times, but there was no response. If not for the Taoist priests in Daocheng. God knows how many. Since then. The Buddhists have been labeled as cold-blooded. Not popular, but even now, Buddhism will still be officially targeted. How could it be possible to send a Buddhist to complete the task? That is to say, this strong man in front of me. He's been hiding his identity, but now I'm exposing myself in front of my face. Be free, look. You want to silence people? Hey, the donor must have guessed it. Of course, I have no hidden thoughts. The strong man no longer had the hearty expression he had before. It was a dark look. Now is not the time for nonsense. Come and visit him. I can't stop making snakes, you. He thought he was qualified to cooperate with me. I think I have something to do with being a Buddhist. With my resources like the tower benefactor. Are you calling him ridiculous? Even he didn't know. How terrifying is the strength of our Buddhists. Sure enough, was this monster suppressed? The king finally understood. Why do weirdos with second-level lust? The method will be so common. The abilities of Buddhists are really mysterious. Be able to control the monster. Donor, are you waiting for Chau Han? He won't come. I've led him far away. You and Tianqi are nothing to fear. And his philosophy tells me there's nothing I can do. Say so. You are an undercover Buddhist lurking in the heavens, and you want more power. Ask for more information. So a higher position is needed. So you directed and staged the event. Add merit to yourself. And the more people there are, the more serious the incident. More credit. And don't worry about being greedy. Sure enough, only good things are allowed. From the very beginning, you're smarter than a frog. But if you do too much of this, you will always be found. Extremely risky. Unless absolutely necessary. Is there any official action? The official wants to set up a team. So does this all make sense?
This Buddhist undercover need to earn a lot of merit quickly. Only in this way will you have the opportunity to enter the official team. In the memory of a previous life, the official squad has a lot of power. Intelligence weapons are the best, and the folk team joined by the prince, not on the same level at all. Even if this folk team reaches level. Do you really think you've got me? Don't know why. Looking at the prince's smile, the strong man was a little uneasy. I am not merciful. Hey, you are not an ordinary person. If I had known he was a psychic, you shouldn't have beaten Tianqi so quickly. I thought the prince was just an ordinary person. As a metahuman, Tianqi is a greater threat. But regret is useless now. I'm gone. But the strong man at this time was still very confident. Sure enough, I knew it. This little monster alone can't support a second-level monster desire. Embarrassed? I admit I was wrong. But you probably don't have any extra cards, right? Humph. How dare you turn over the door and get an axe? Feat team all and fight monsters. Don't you think you underestimate someone? What? Little brother, when did you find me? Hey, one for each. Credit is divided equally. You caught it all yourself. And I believe that even if I didn't do it just now, you can fix this guy too. So would you be so kind to give me the credit? You don't live long when you test poison. And even without me, I guess this guy and the two monsters will also be easily solved by you, right? Miss Chau Han, who has been in Tibet from the very beginning. Hate, I believe you. You should know how to report the situation when you go out, right? Got it. After all, who has nothing to do with wanting to cause trouble for the Buddhists? No, I mean the troubles thing. After all, I'm just a lucky guy. Ordinary person with a Reiki item. Sure enough, my mother said that men are all old Yingbi, but I'll keep a secret for my little brother. Just I want to rip your head off. Seems to be getting more difficult, yeah. Sometimes I really don't know if this guy is really crazy. Still fake crazy. Why only 2 came out? Vice Minister of QZ Operation Department. The incident level this time should not be that high. What's more, he also sent out Chau Han, a high-level power user who happened to be nearby. Investigators prepare to enter the scene for rescue operations. Follow up with several other doctors for emergency treatment. Why just the 2 of you? Anybody else? Although talking to 2 people, but Shu's eyes were almost only on Chau Han. In his eyes, Prince, this guy. That old thing, Dunsley arranged to come in and deliver karma. Poor man, didn't you see? 2. She subconsciously looked around. Chau Han, there's no other monster. What? How can an ordinary person suppress a supervisor? Could you please stop looking? Let's lock them up first. The prince looked at Shuzi, who was a little silly, a little helpless. There are some things she doesn't want to make too visible. In this era of worthless life, being low-key is the foundation of survival. Shuzi nodded with a dull expression. The whole person leaves in a state of confusion. After a while, someone who is obviously also psychic came over with 2 gold containers. He glanced curiously at the prince, then he snorted. The monster floated into the golden container like smoke. It's okay, I'll go first. In a previous life or now. The prince doesn't like places with many people. Could be where the incident broke out. The more people, the easier it is. Haha, what an interesting guy. What you said is really good. Wife is pregnant. Prince survived. Yang Chen was speechless. Even ordinary people. As long as the dog can live, right? Is it necessary to be so excited? And I have an impression of this prince. Doing pretty well. If only he had survived, I would be so excited. Not only did he survive, and I suppressed a monster with my own hands. This time, everyone underestimated the event. The 2 metahumans are all inside. I don't need to say more about what this means. You are serious nonsense. This shows that my plan is feasible, Prince. This newcomer can suppress a monster. Those who usually cherish their lives. Malicious, lazy old fritters. It can't be ineffective, right? After all, these old guys still have something. I knew it. According to my reality's eyes, I have long seen that the prince is not simple. However, Yang Chen was shocked from the very beginning. Gradually, he regained his previous lazy appearance. Although ordinary people can suppress a monster. Sounds shocking? But if you think about it, it's okay. I can only say that an ant picked a worm. Amazing, but think about it. Humans seem to have an easier time picking worms. Prince just added a layer. It's just the weak halo of an ant. Of course, if he ever becomes human, capable of picking elephants, it will become an admirable existence. I want to see the prince. Dirty or not, I want to see you and call me. The prince knew that soon after, the recovery will erupt again. At that time, the monster event will be fully upgraded. So the prince needs a background, so that we can thrive in the future. But his target was not in the logistics department, but a squad leader. As the official will set up a lot of squads, then after there be an organization of squad leaders because there are only 10 people. These 10 people will receive preferential treatment from the entire official, and only members. Members will be selected again. It will become an extremely mysterious and terrifying organization. So for Zhang Ziliang's obvious solicitation of his behavior, the prince refused somewhat because the prince only wants to go through logistics department, transfer to action team. Then you become the captain and enter the camp. No, it turns out that Zhang Ziliang asked members of the logistics department. Attend the monster event in person is for this. What a cold-blooded leader. However, in the action group, I may not be qualified to be a captain, but the logistics department. That being the case, so be it. It's dangerous this time. Fortunately, these two strange people have a relatively simple rule. Just hold back. The danger is not great, but there are two superpowers. Zhang Ziliang seemed to mention it inadvertently. He glanced at the prince with deep eyes. Prince's expression remained unchanged. They are stupid. What reward do you want? A-level intelligence authority. Another prince fell into silence. Stop talking. What a tough guy. A-level intelligence authority is not so easy to get. Even I'm only a grade, and your current merits are not enough. This mission will reward you with about 15 points. Out your previous, it's only 25 in total. An A-level intelligence authority, at least 200 points as a base. But I've only been on the job for 7 days. Zhang Ziliang froze in place. Yeah, this guy's only been on the job for 7 days. It's already 25 points. And he's just an ordinary person. Zhang Ziliang subconsciously drank a large mouthful of tea. I want to calm down. But because the tea was too hot, the prince looked at Zhang Ziliang speechlessly. Anyway, it is impossible to give you a level A intelligence authority. You can change it.
Otherwise, there's no chance. The prince seems to have known. Zhang Ziliang would say that. There was no disappointment in his eyes. Team A, the smile on Zhang Ziliang's face disappeared instantly. It gets cold. Where did you hear about a squad? The prince smiled but said nothing, young man. It seems that you are not as clean as written in the file. After all, seeing is believing, and you send someone from the logistics department to the monster event. Just for this. Right? You're playing with fire. The air becomes oppressive. Yang Chen doesn't know when, appeared at the door, not saying a word, but his hands. And there was light. Why don't you look for it if you're so nervous? You are the minister. I am an employee. You want to increase the weight of the logistics department. I also want to become stronger. Our interests are the same. And on the way to achieving the goal, I might have the answer. And you're still the minister with 10 laps. Right? Zhang Ziliang looked deeply at the prince for a long time. Ha ha ha. You want my investment? But you are just an ordinary person. What makes you so sure? I will give you preferential treatment. Who says I am an ordinary person? The minister doesn't know if you are satisfied with my strength. Zhang Ziliang frowned slightly. He took a deep look at the prince. No problem. I hope you will always be our logistics department, the best employee. Certainly. Prince Zhang Ziliang is like two old foxes, shaking hands, looking at each other, smiling. Yang Chen, who is placed aside, is like a transparent person. The guys in the logistics department. Can you really expect them to survive? These people are already related to the prince's plan. After all, at least for a long time to come. Princes belong to the logistics department. It's just a bunch of connected households. Those who don't want to answer will leave. And who says our logistics department is an ordinary person? Well, what a vengeful guy. The prince complained silently. The heart is relaxed. If Zhang Ziliang really thinks, with that group of crooked melons and cracked dates, if you can get credit for the monster incident, then the prince must consider. Have you changed a partner? The two talked for a long time. Zhang Ziliang kindly sent the prince away.